Hey there, this is Morgan with Morgan Burke's Photography and Product Shop, and today I'm going to show you how to apply my autumn leaf overlays in Photoshop. So this is one of the photos that I'm going to work on today. Adding overlays is pretty simple in Photoshop. With your photo open that you're going to be editing, you're just going to go up to File, and then go to Place Embedded. Now, if you're on earlier versions of Photoshop, I'm in Photoshop CC, but if you're on an earlier version, yours might just say File Place. So just click that. And then you're going to navigate to wherever on your computer you've saved your overlays. Here, mine are already popped up because they're the last thing that I used. I'm just going to click the one that I want. And in this case, I'm going to use Autumn Leaves 8 and hit Place. And this will pull it right up on your photo. And then when you're satisfied with the placement, which I am here, I think that looks pretty good, I'm just going to hit the check mark. So in this case, this overlay works really well with this photo, I think. The colors match pretty well. The only thing I don't really care for is this leaf right here. The pieces of grass next to the subjects are out of focus, but this leaf is really strong and in focus. So what I'm going to do here is just add a layer mask to this overlay. Just do that by hitting the rectangle button with the circle inside at the bottom of your layers panel down here. You're just going to click that. And then when this mask pops up, you can grab your brush tool, set your color to black. Here, I'm going to set my opacity to 100% just by hitting the 0 on my keyboard. And then I'm just going to paint that little leaf away. So the layer mask will just hide that leaf from the photo. So here, I think that this looks pretty good. You can adjust the coloring of the leaves if you wanted to darken any of them. I'll show you how to do that really quick. So you can use any method of darkening that you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and use levels. So you're just going to hit that half black, half white circle at the bottom of your layers panel, choose levels or whatever other method of darkening you want to use. And then what I'm going to do here in Photoshop, everything, each layer applies to everything below it. So in this case, I want to tell this adjustment that I actually don't want it to apply to everything below it, just to this leaf overlay. And so I'll show you why that is here. So if I wanted to darken, let's say these leaves here, I wanted them to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to drag the mid-tone slider here to the right to darken, but you'll notice it darkens my photo too. So that's part of the layers panel. It applies to everything below it. So what you're going to do is right click on this levels layer and hit create clipping mask. And this overrides that and it tells Photoshop, I just want this darkness to apply to this specific layer below. And so now, if I turn this on and off, you can see that my darkness just applied to those leaves. And then again, here with the layer mask, I don't like how dark this leaf is up here at the top. If it was actually in front of that light, it would be much brighter. So I am going to hit Command I or Control I on that layer mask to remove that darkness for just a second. And that way you can grab a white brush to paint it wherever you want. So you can paint that darkness specifically over certain leaves that you want to look a little bit darker, and you can leave the other ones brighter. You also could add another layer here. Let's say you wanted to adjust the coloring of your leaves. You can add a HueSaturation layer. Again, you're going to want to right click and hit create clipping mask so that again, it's only being applied to that leaf overlay. And then here you can just drag your coloring if you wanted your leaves to be a little bit more red. Here, I think that the color works for how the photo looks, but that is an option if you want to adjust the hue or saturation there. So that is that one. I'm going to go ahead and delete that last hue saturation adjustment because I think the coloring already looked really nice. But on this photo over here, I'm going to show you how to apply multiple leaf overlays. So here I've already applied some. I'm just going to go ahead and shift click to delete those, drag them to the trash can. And then I am going to go to File, Place Embedded again. And this time I am going to grab number 10 first and hit Place. And so this one pops up right on the photo, just like it did last time. It fills the frame. But in this case, my subjects are a little bit further from me. So it would stand to reason that the leaves that are in focus would be closer to them, which means the leaves wouldn't be so big. So it's just not quite as believable. If the leaves were in focus, they'd be on the same focus plane as my subjects, which means that leaves would have to be a little smaller to be believable. Just my thought process here. So what I'm going to do is make the overlay smaller just by dragging in on the corners. And then I'm going to place this here. Excuse me. And I think that looks pretty good for now. So basically I'm paying attention to these in focus leaves. I want them to be small enough that it would be believable for them to be in the photo. So because my subjects are smaller, they're further away, I need the leaves to be smaller and further away too. So that's why I'm making this overlay a little smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the check mark with that one. But then I'm going to go back to File, Place, file place embedded and add a second leaf overlay to have some of the leaves look a little bit closer to me. So for that one, I'm going to choose Autumn Leaves 14 and hit place. And so now this one will go over the whole photo, and you can stretch these to have a few of them be, so I'm just stretching and making these leaves be where I want them. So just drag this overlay wherever on the photo you want it to be, and then you can hit the check mark when you're satisfied. So for me, I like this one because there's some out of focus leaves, but this in focus leaf right here makes it very obvious that this leaf overlay has been applied after the fact. So I'm going to again add a layer mask to this layer. Just hit that rectangular button with a circle inside again, grab a black brush, and then just paint away the leaf. Is this the right one? Yes. So paint away the leaf that you want to remove. And so here I might even remove this one because it's in focus too. And these bigger leaves in the front would be out of focus. So I want to get rid of anything that clearly makes it obvious that leaves have been added in Photoshop. So I am just going to grab my move tool again and just adjust the placement here. And there's that. So again, you could go in with a levels layer or your favorite brightening or darkening layer and tweak the color of the leaves or the brightness of the leaves as needed. But that's how you apply leaf overlays. So this is the Autumn Leaf collection on my website, morganburks.com. You can check that out if you'd like. And for more tutorials, you can also visit morganburks.com and browse those. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.